Okay, this is how you cook your frozen jachnuns. So you have yourself a bag like this with 10 jachnuns. I'm going to demonstrate how to make 6 of them. 6 is enough for 3 people, so that's exactly about the right amount for a family. So you open up the bag, take away the nylon. Now, the jachnuns are wrapped like this. This is 5 jachnuns. Now we want to separate them without breaking them. You take a knife, not a sharp knife, and you put just between and gently you stuck it in. 1, 2. Now you bring it, you open it up with your hand, and voila, this is 1 jachnun. Now, not always you need the knife. Sometimes you can do without, you see. This is just for cases where it's very hard. Okay, this is the 5 jachnuns separated, but we want 6. So this is 1 more. So 6 jachnuns are ready to be cooked. Next thing, you take parchment paper. Oh, before the parchment paper, you need a pot. So this is a medium-sized pot, about the right for 6 jachnuns. So you take the parchment paper, you cut a piece, and you put it, and you put it aside. Then you take some bread, white bread, as cheap as possible. Okay, don't spend anything extra on this thing. I get my bread from, yeah. Anyway, so you take the bread and you cover all the base of the pot. You can cut the bread to pieces to make it exactly fitting. Now, you can do 1 layer, but I always recommend 2 layers, not 1. 2 layers will make sure your jachnuns won't be burned down in the bottom of the pot. And notice you don't need an expert jachnun pot to make jachnuns. Just a normal pot from your kitchen is enough. Now you take the parchment paper and you put it on top of the bread, and the bread sits below it, just like this. Okay, now 1 piece. I always take 2 pieces and put them in the opposite direction, so there's no case of, yeah. Now we have a pot that is ready for the jachnuns. You take 3 of the jachnuns and you put them just like this, as they are frozen. You don't need to defroze or anything. 3 of the jachnuns. You know what? In my pot I can even put 4. Okay, so I put 4 jachnuns like this, and I take 2 more and put them like this. If I want, I can even make 8 in this kind of pot. I can put 2 more over here, but you can put just 6 like that, no problem. Next thing, you take 1 more piece, a smaller one, and you put it on top of the jachnun. Now, to the people of you who want to have eggs with the jachnun, that's the right time to put them. Usually for 6 jachnuns you put 3-4 eggs. I always put extra eggs because sometimes They can explode, very rare, but happen. So 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs like this, and then it fills up perfectly. Take one more piece of the parchment paper, and I cover the whole thing again. Now it's okay that it's not tight now, because I'm going to take some foil and just a little piece like that on top of the parchment, and try to really like put it as tight as possible. But again, it's okay that it's not so tight. You know, this way is perfect. You take the cover and you press it hard. You want it to be as tight as possible. You don't want air to get in or out. This is what we do when we don't have Jachnun pot. When you have a Jachnun pot, you can do it without the parchment paper, without the, and obviously without the foil, but you want to have the parchment below. And that's it. This is ready. You put it in the oven, 230 degrees, 10 hours. After 10 hours, you look at it. You open up the pot. If it's brownish, nice, great. Lower the temperature to 170 to the lowest, and it can sit like this for another 5 hours, no problem. If it's not ready, if you feel like it's yellowish, it's not brown, you can put up the temperature to 250 for another half an hour, 1 hour, and it will be perfect. And if you have time, just keep it on 230 for another 1 or 2 hours. This is the perfect color of a Jachnun. It's brown, not too dark, not too light. Perfecto. That's it, and enjoy the Jachnuns.